A while back I did a little demonstration comparison on 3 different types of sublimation papers. Today, regular copy paper. We get a lot of comments. Why can't you just use regular copy paper? We're going to do a comparison coming up. Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome to the loft above the shop. It's April the 8th. Nice spring day, and it's snowing outside. Oh well, good day to be up in the loft here working. Decided to do a little comparison. I get a lot of comments, why don't you just use regular copy paper? Why do you spend the money on sublimation paper? Well, there is a difference in the papers, and without turning this into a chemistry class, regular paper, this regular sheet of copy paper right here, when you print on that, the ink actually soaks into the paper. On sublimation paper, there's a coating on that paper, and that's why you can only do this on one side of sublimation paper, and the ink then floats on that coating, and it transfers better, and we're going to demonstrate that here shortly. And to do that, I'm going to use the identical graphic, identical temperatures, on identical little Dollar Tree microfiber towels. Plus, I'm going to do a bigger towel for something I'm going to use in my cabana. So I thought that I'd just use that graphic, and I'm even going to show you how I design it, because we get a lot of questions on, where do you get your graphics? Where do you get these designs? Well, go to the computer, show you. So a question I get asked a lot is, where do you get your graphics? And how do you design them? Well, I'm not an artiste, but here's where I get a lot of them. This is called Great Dane Graphics. And I subscribe to this. It is not cheap, but the graphics are high quality and you have all the rights to use them. For this particular one I'm going to be making here, I need to use my search word of surf. And get my Surfshark going here. And it'll open up. And I'm going to use digital printing, and I'm going to customize this. This will pop up here, and I'm going to put my name up here first. So I'm going to take this little bit of text right here, I'm going to move it up to the top. I'm going to go over here and change my graphics to Stahl's Metal. This a little bigger. I'm up there above the shark's head. Back here to text. Pull this text down here. Change it over to the other font. I'll make this a bit larger. Here down in there. And you'll see down here it'll show full image. Obviously I won't be printing it at that size because we're putting this on little microfiber towels for this little test. But this is what I'm going to use. So then I just click on download. We want to download it as a PNG. And there it is. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll bring this graphic into Inkscape. It's right here. I need to change my document size here first. The US letter. And for display units, we're going to use inches. So here's our document. Now I need to go up here to File, Import. There's my downloaded design right there. Now this will be way too big. So our towel is 11 by 11. Well, I can't use that full 11 inches wide because paper is only 8.5 wide. But I don't like going all the way to the edge of the paper necessarily, so I'm going to go 8.25 wide. Make sure that little padlock's locked right there. So go 8.25. It is a 10.709 high, so we've got 8.5 by 11 paper. Bring this over here. this centered up on my outline. And I like that. So we'll save that for as a SVG. Call this Cabana bar. I need to print this, but I need to print it mirrored. But I do that from the printer. I don't do it here. You can do it here. You can flip this here, but I prefer to do it with my printer. So go to File and Print. Epson 2720. Preferences. Portrait. Make sure quality is set to high. Your paper type is Premium Presentation Paper Matte. For the sublimation paper, the one for copy paper, I'll use the regular setting. Now I always click Print Preview. Appear to more options. Make sure high speed is not checked. You want that turned off. Mirror image. OK. Click Print. The preview will come up, and as you can see, it's mirrored. So we'll hit Print. Okay, got both graphics printed out. And here is the one on sublimation paper. And here's the one on copy paper. It's up there so you can see a little bit of a difference in just how they look there. So we'll take these over to the heat press and we'll press them. Okay, one thing regarding these little microfiber towels from Dollar Tree. They're 4 for $1.25. One side is a little fuzzier than the other. You want to do your sublimation on the fuzzy side. This side doesn't have quite as much fuzz, and your graphic will come out better. And I'm using these because they're inexpensive, and if you screw one up, you're not out a lot. And it's good for experimenting on. So we'll open up the heat press here. I'll shoot the paper down. And one thing I want to do is do a little bit of a pre-press on this. You also want to make sure you take the tag off, because if you don't, that tag will turn brown. So I like to do a little bit of a pre-press on this. It takes all the moisture out and flattens it out. And I don't even close the press all the way. I just hold it down for 10-15 seconds. Now it's nice and flat. Oh, I bent the corner over. Now I got to do it over. So I should watch that closer. Yeah, it looks a little better. And another thing you want to do is take a lint roller and make sure there's no lint on it, because if you have lint on there, you will end up with little blue and purple speckles. And I'm going to start out with the one with the actual sublimation paper here. That's set here in the center. Straight. And I always use a couple pieces of heat tape to keep it from shifting. You want to put a piece of paper on top of it. And you can either use butcher paper or parchment paper, either one. Both work the same. For this, that protects the plating. We'll press this at 385 degrees for 60 seconds. Time's up. So there is the one with the sublimation paper. And here, I don't know if you can see this, is the reason that I put paper on there to protect the plate, and because some of that ink bled through. So that's why we do that. So we'll get the next one set up here and prepped. This is the one on regular copy paper. Same time, same temperature. Time's up. So, does it work? Yes, it does work. Is it the same? No, it's not. This is one with the copy paper, and as you can see, the colors are not as vivid as they are on the one using the sublimation paper. And holding the paper side by side here, this is the copy paper, this is the sublimation paper, and a little klutzy with the gloves on here. But as you can see, the sublimation paper transferred a lot more ink than the copy paper did. Okay, and I've got one more I'm going to do here. This is on a microfiber towel. This is also from Dollar Tree, and you find this one in the automotive section. It is much larger. It's also fuzzy on both sides. Well, there's my bigger one. And these little fuzzies where you pull the heat tape off, that disappears when, and you can wash this. It's not going to wash out. It's permanent. And one nice thing about these bigger ones is you could actually do that on either side, and it doesn't really bleed through much, so makes a nice little bar towel. So there's a little comparison, everything being apples to apples here and not apples to kumquats or something, because we use exactly the same graphic on exactly the same printer, same ink, same substrate, that being these little microfiber towels, same time, same temperature. Everything was identical. So now you can see the difference here. This one right here was the one done with regular copy paper. And of course, that's my big towel there, but we might make sure we could pair these right next to each other. So if I fold this a little bit and put these together, you can see how much more vivid the colors are on using the sublimation paper as opposed to using regular copy paper. So yes, regular copy paper does work. You just don't get as good a result from it. So it kind of depends on what you're going to be doing with your project or what your end result is going to be. If it's something that you're selling, don't be so cheap to just reuse regular copy paper, but get sublimation paper. You're going to have a much better product for your customer. If you're just doing a little bit of experimenting on a few different things, yeah, I suppose you could use copy paper because you'd save a few cents there, but just wanted to give you the comparison. I get a lot of questions on this. Well, why don't you just use regular copy paper? Well, this is why. If you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. Well, I'm Roger in the loft on a snowy April day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.